Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. What's going on, guys? The early and on-time chatters are in. Apologize for my lateness. Yeah, it took me a little bit of time to get off of one show and onto another, which is this one, which is my show. What's going on, guys? Let's see. I think somebody gave me a super chat back here. Muzza, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Lightning Rod says, we are gods on a planet we choose to terrify and destroy. We're not very nice gods, I'll say. Elon might have COVID? Get out of here. Really? That is wild. Huh. Interesting. But hello, all the people. Poppy, Had, William, what's going on, Raza? Alexi, is that you? Did you change your name? Nazmanabs? Nazmanabs? Nazmanabs, what does it mean? I don't understand. Oh, thank you so much, Muzza, for the super chat. Appreciate you. It is a busy day, Poppy, yes. And I'm sorry, guys, I was going to come back yesterday with another video, but it just didn't happen. And I don't know, I'm going to try and do another video after this one today, but I'm not sure because I'm working on a music project and I'm kind of like in the home stretch, so I'm really trying to kind of get that finished and focus on that. A little crackling. Apologize. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right. I'm live on Rockfin as well. If you guys want to watch me on Rockfin. Almost forgot to start the stream there. I got one viewer on Rockfin. Hello, Rockfin viewers. Hopefully some more people will join me on Rockfin. Let me make sure this is free. Rockfin is another channel that you can watch my videos on and support me there. It is a really awesome channel. I have, you know, go figure, I have more followers on Rockfin in 1 year than I do on YouTube in 3. I wonder why that is. How could it be? It's so weird. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't like the crackling sound myself. Yeah, so I am going to try. So just to be very, very clear, hopefully, I think it's self-explanatory, but if you see climate change in my headline, that means this video is about climate change. If climate change is not in the headline, that means it's, you know, about whatever. Probably not climate change specific, but it's about whatever. So just letting you guys know. I'm trying to be helpful. Let's see. Keith Hayes, what's going on? Keith Hayes is here on Rockfin with me. What's going on? Got 3 viewers on Rockfin. Excellent. Excellent. Let's get more viewers on Rockfin if we can, guys, because it would be really super cool if we could have a strong stream on Rockfin. I don't know. That sounded a little bit weird. But let's get into some climate changey stuff. Oh, I don't even have my very professional monitor, which is called, also known as my phone. I don't have my monitor up. Hold on one second. Yes, Poppy Davis, the chat is working on Rockfin to answer your question. We have 69 viewing right now, and if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Interesting, I ran across this Twitter account, which is titled Extreme Temperatures Around the World. And I had to follow them because I was like, yeah, if you're interested in climate change, this is a good Twitter account to follow. Anyways, talking about yesterday. Oh, by the way, it is Friday the 13th, so happy Friday the 13th to everybody. Yesterday, November 12th, 2020, was the hottest day in history of the Indonesian island of Sabu, also known as Sawu, with 36.8 C, surpassing the old record of 36.6 C. Set almost 20 years ago, on about 18 years ago on November 4th, 2002. November is normally the hottest month of the year in most of Indonesia prior to the beginning of the rainy season. So not an odd time of year to have this temperature record, but I looked it up and I can't remember what it was. It's like 90, it's hot, 98 degrees or something like that. You guys want to know what it is in Fahrenheit? Let's find out. 98.24. 98.24. Let's move on. Tropical storm Eta is still going. Does anybody have a time line on how long Eta has been a storm? I want to say it's been like 2 weeks. I don't know. In my memory, in my immediate faulty memory, I cannot remember a storm that has lasted this long. And this has caused so much damage, this storm. And a very wide area, like from Central America through the Caribbean, all the way to Florida, and now all the way to the Carolinas. Just wild. Tropical storm Eta hits North Carolina with deadly flooding. Amazing. Unbelievable, stupendous, wild, wacky. Why is this happening? Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why this is happening. Is anybody, paying attention to the fact that Eta is the storm that will not die, will not go away, and still going? Apparently now heading out to sea now. Is it going to keep going? Is it going to come back to the United States? Is it going to ping pong off the Atlantic Ocean and back, to hit New York or something? Who knows? It was once a devastating hurricane. It's dumping heavy rain on the Carolinas and Virginia. Homes and roads are flooded. Bridges have buckled. 4 people are dead. Dozens have been rescued. Several remain unaccounted for. The fast-rising waters killed at least 3 people at a campground in North Carolina's Alexander County, and a boy died in a swollen creek in a different part of the state. More than 24 were rescued from the Hidden Night campsite. But rescuers were still racing against the clock Thursday evening to try to find 2 people missing, including a 1-year-old baby. The heavy rain and flooding that engulfed the state washed out bridges littered with abandoned cars, causing mudslides and road accidents and leaving many families stranded. In one instance, a WJZY news reporter was live on camera when the bridge she was on started to collapse. Look out below. Eta battered Latin America and then Miami earlier this week, then hit the Tampa area overnight, where the storm washed boats ashore. Although it was not the most powerful storm to hit the U.S. this year, Eta still had a broad impact. I mean, I'm just wondering about the extent of the damage this one storm has caused in multiple countries. broad impact across the south and was linked to at least one death in the Tampa Bay region. The storm was expected to push back off the eastern seaboard late Thursday into Friday and dissipate. Okay. Possibly for once and for all, it may die in the watery depths of the Atlantic. This storm that will not stop. Just wild. And you know, we can chalk this up to more crazy, nutty, wacky, wild, extreme temperatures and water content in the air and water content in the atmosphere causing all of this extreme weather. Keith Hayes says, I can't see the video unless I subscribe. Oh, I apologize, man. Well, I set it to free, but I don't know. Maybe because it was on premium when I started it. Unless you subscribe. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Keith Hayes, but maybe I need to remember to set it to free before I start the video on Rockfin. But it will be free later. If you would like to watch it on Rockfin, it will be free. Boiled Rope Lamppost, time duration long for that storm. What's the record for the longest storm? Boiled Rope Lamppost asks. Rich Diana answers, that would be my 3-year marriage. Ooh, ouch. Gazoinks. Let's move on. Well, another record for the year in the books. Tropical Depression 31 forms in the Caribbean Sea. The season's 31st tropical depression formed Friday morning and is expected to strengthen into a hurricane by the time it makes landfall early next week. It's like these storms are like wheat thins. It's just one after the other. The National Hurricane Center says when the depression becomes a tropical storm, it would take the name Iota, the next letter of the Greek alphabet. It looks like Iota will follow Eta, the Eta track towards Honduras and Nicaragua as a strengthening hurricane. Holy crikeys, they are still, they've got major problems in Honduras due to the damage from Eta. As of 10 a.m. Friday, Tropical Depression 13 was about 310 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica, with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour and higher gusts. On the forecast track, the system will move across the central Caribbean Sea during the next day or so and approach the coast of Nicaragua and northeastern Honduras late Sunday and Monday. And we're going to look at this here. Oh. Let's see if we can see this a little larger. So, yeah. Looking to somewhat follow the path of Eta. And not a good couple of days. If this does develop into a hurricane, not so good for Honduras and Nicaragua, I believe, who got some storm damage from Eta as well. Let's move on to this from The Guardian from today, referring, I believe, to the last Arctic polar expedition from Greenpeace Arctic Sunrise ship. So the headline is, we packed long underwear and never wore it. If you went to the Arctic this summer, you didn't need long underwear. It was that warm. It was like a holiday. It was much like the Mediterranean in the Arctic. Maybe not. Arctic scientists shocked at warming. Shocked, I say, shocked. Couple finds areas that once required ice-breaking ship have become open water, and we've seen multiple stories about this in the last few months. When the Arctic researchers Jacqueline Grabemeyer and Lee Cooper made their annual, maybe her name's just Jacqueline, made their annual scientific pilgrimage to frigid seas off Alaska last month, what they found was startling. Areas that were previously accessible at that time of the year only with an ice-breaking ship had become open, wavy water. We packed our long underwear and we never put it on, Cooper said. In years past, the pair could convince wary volunteers to accompany them by promising walrus sightings, but with no sea ice to perch on and fewer clams to eat, the tusked butterballs have moved to more comfortable accommodations on the beaches. Instead, the research team saw huge fishing boats searching farther north for Pacific cod and a container ship traveling a newly melted route from Quebec to Korea. It snowed only once during their 3 weeks on the water. While the world on average has warmed more than 1 C because of human-caused climate change, the Arctic is heating up much faster. The researchers found the shallow waters were up to 3 C hotter than is typical throughout the water column. This year marked the second biggest sea ice retreat toward the North Pole ever after 2012. Yeah, the Arctic is in trouble. Poppy Davis says, open water and no underwear. Sounds fun. A good time was had by all. Andy the Gardener says, is the Blue Arctic event supposed to be in winter? No, but, you know, was I just reading yesterday? My brain cannot remember things, but I believe I was just reading something yesterday from scientists saying that, you know, we predict a blue ocean event in, you know, the 2040s or 50s or, you know, even though the trend line looks like about 2023, give or take 2 or 3 years. That's about all we got until a blue ocean event, at least in the summer. But they were saying something like, oh, the Arctic's going to be ice-free in, you know, 20, 30 years. And if you believe that, I've got a wind farm to sell you. Guys, get ready for the future. The future is going to be green. Green, 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 I say. Okay, so I've been seeing a few people talk about this article on the social medias. And this is not good news. Not good news at all for the future of climate change. The ocean carbon sink has set the next political hurdle. So what they're saying, basically, brief synopsis is that the less carbon in the air, the less the ocean absorbs the carbon. So the ocean has been acting as a carbon sink. And because there is so much carbon we are pumping into the air, it is absorbing as much carbon as it can possibly absorb. But when we slow down, when and if we ever slow down or take carbon out of the atmosphere, the oceans will respond by absorbing less carbon. That's basically what they're saying. New research reveals that once anthropogenic carbon emissions drop, so too will the ocean's ability to absorb carbon dioxide. Yikes. That could make it seem like emission reduction efforts aren't working. The ocean has absorbed 39% of the carbon dioxide we have pumped into the air since the Industrial Revolution. Like a giant sponge, the ocean and the organisms within it have soaked up the carbon dioxide by dissolving it from the air through photosynthesis. This so-called ocean carbon sink has spared us from the worst terrestrial consequences of soaring atmospheric carbon dioxide. A relief counterbalanced by ocean acidification and other marine side effects. There are myriad unanswered questions about how much of our carbon the ocean will continue to take up and for how long, but answering them has been a central focus of climate research. One recent study, however, suggests that the ocean carbon sink is unexpectedly responsive. As soon as emissions go down, so will the ocean's uptake. The sponge, it turns out, isn't quite so spongy. The reason for this is simple. When it comes to carbon dioxide content, the ocean and the atmosphere seek equilibrium. If we cut our carbon emissions, says Galen McKinley, the study's lead author and climate scientist at Columbia University's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory in New York, the ocean is going to say, great, I don't have to take up as much to reach that equilibrium, and that sink will slow down. The ocean carbon sink, she says, isn't going to keep acting the way it did when we were just driving it so hard by stuffing so much carbon into the atmosphere. Remember, the research shows that as the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere falls, there comes a point when the ocean will start releasing its stored carbon, flipping from a carbon sink to a carbon source. The longer it takes to cut emissions, the longer this equilibrium phase will take, simply because there will be more carbon in the ocean to balance out. Well, the ocean is saying, I'm full. I'm full. I'm good. Thanks. Thanks so much. And remember, when the oceans get warmer, and they will get warmer, especially in the next El Nino, the oceans release carbon and will release heat. There will be a point, right? So the forests, the Amazon and other great forests of the planet are starting to, to turn from being carbon sinks to carbon sources. They start releasing their carbon, and the ocean will do the same as we get hotter. Along with very warm temperatures, as in hot as hell temperatures, and that is also bad. So remember that. And that's, another in a line of bad news. Bad indicators, bad signals for the planet. Moving to more dire signals for the planet. This is from 1-0. We're past the point of no return on global warming, scientists warn. Again, how many of these articles have I read in the last year, 2 years, 3 years? Again, more people are moving to the position that we are in bad shape. More scientists are moving towards the position that it is happening faster than expected. We're worse than we thought we were going to be. The worst case scenarios are more likely than the good scenarios, or mild climate change scenarios. Anyway, so they're linking this article from Future Human by Drew Costley. Just stopping emissions may no longer be enough to stop global warming. Well, may being an important word here, because the word is will, not may. If you listen to some smart climate change scientists, on this. They understand that it is not a may, it is a will. Will not be able to stop global warming. But what's the answer he's proposing? Or maybe not he, not Drew, but researchers argue that it's time to invest in aggressive carbon capture. I was just reading an article yesterday saying that, well, carbon capture isn't really a great idea. It's probably the worst of the ideas. But we'll read on a little bit in here. Earlier this year, the Earth saw a huge dip in carbon emissions as nations around the globe locked down to slow the spread of the coronavirus. If offered a glimpse into what the world might look like if we took drastic steps to reduce our carbon emissions, to slow the spread of global warming, for a brief moment, smog-choked cities around the world had clear skies. But according to a new modeling study published in Scientific Reports today, even if we made such drastic reductions permanent, it would still not be enough. The study suggests that if we stopped all human-made greenhouse gas emissions immediately, the Earth's temperatures would continue to rise because of self-sustaining melting ice and permafrost. This is called a feedback loop. These feedback loops, in which melting ice causes less sunlight to be reflected back into space, which in turn raises temperatures and causes more ice to melt, have already been set into motion. The researchers argue this is just science. This is not something that is, up for debate or opinions. This is just science. This is just cause and effect of the humans terraforming the planet. If there's going to be any answer, we're going to have to really wrap our minds around that reality super quick, right? Real quick. You're going to just have to really understand that quickly. I know the feelings are going to be all up in there too, but don't let your feelings get in the way of understanding the reality of what's happening. You're going to have to set those aside and I don't know what. If there's going to be any action, we're going to just have to get right to it and get right through it real quick. Humanity is beyond the point of no return when it comes to halt the melting of the permafrost using greenhouse gas cuts as the single tool. Jorgen Randers, that's how he's, that's my impression of Jorgen Randers, PhD, Professor Emeritus on Climate Strategy at BI Norwegian Business School, and lead author of the study, tells Future Human in an email. That's not to say we should give up on reducing emissions. Rather, Randers says that the world should accelerate its effort to cut greenhouse gas emissions in order to postpone as much as possible the temperature rise and start developing the technologies for large-scale removal of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. Well, let's get to it. Or to something, whatever it's going to be. Hopefully not something that's going to hurt the planet more. Again, Guy McPherson has brought up the idea of he likes the mirrors idea. That a few people at Harvard have proposed, putting mirrors in the ocean. We're going to need something, and so let's get to the conversations very quickly about, because we are going to roll out technologies. We are going to go tech fix like all the way. It's going to happen. It's just there's no stopping that. And I'm absolutely positive on every single level that we are already doing that. Somebody is already working on that in secret, in private somewhere. DARPA or somebody is working on that. If you don't think they're not working on that, or haven't been working on that, or haven't been doing something around that, I don't know. Continue to be naive at your peril. Still got a couple of viewers on Rockfin. Thanks, guys, for viewing the video on Rockfin. But yeah, I mean, the governments of the planet are going to go tech fix all the way. The question is, how is that going to affect the planet? What's going to do to the planet? How's it going to affect the humans that live on the planet and the animals and the plants and the everybody? It's not just about humans. I feel like, guys, there's some other stories I really want to cover, but I have run out of time. I want to keep this short. But I will be back for some climate change news tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time again. And there's so much news I can't even cover it. I always leave stories that I can't get to on any given day for the next day. Osama says we should use parabolic mirrors to set jets on fire. That's funny. I don't know. Maybe we should just not fly the jets. Maybe we should just leave the jets on the ground. Yeah, but these things are going to happen, and it's really up to us to understand that these things are going to happen and that they're probably already happening. And we're going to have to, along with insisting that there be action on climate change, that we're going to have to insist that there be right action, and insist that the lunatics in control don't put in, all the death rays that they can possibly develop and erect in the next, couple of years or decades or whatever. We got to insist that the powers that be don't destroy us all in the process of, how about this? How about this, guys? How about the climate change death ray from outer space? We've got it. We've developed the perfect death ray for climate change. I can't even speak right now. The climate change death ray is fully operational, Darth. Should we fire? Commence firing. The climate change death ray. What is this? What was this? Kuro Hike says you should see Paul Beckwith debating Dane Wigington. Are they debating? Or are they not? Or they are terrible? They will be terrible? What? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to gain context from your chats, Kuro. I don't understand. Help me understand. Did they have a debate, or are they having a debate? Are they going to have a debate? It was disappointing. Paul Beckwith was just shut down and couldn't even talk? Okay. That is disappointing. I mean, I disagree with both of them on some of the things that they have to say around geoengineering and or chemtrails or whatever it is you want to call it. I don't know. But they did debate. Okay. It was bad. I imagine it probably would be bad. And, Osama says Dane wouldn't let Paul talk. Man, I got to check this out. I'm super interested in this. But anyways, that sucks. That sucks. If you can't get in your information, that's not helpful. Dane had measurements and Paul had nothing. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'll have to check that out. Maybe I'll do a reaction video to that debate. You know what I'm thinking about doing, guys, is doing reaction videos, because there's a few ideas out there and a few people doing videos, kind of ranging far and wide, but mostly having to deal with climate change. That I would like to do reaction videos to. I'm just really intrigued by this idea all of a sudden, so maybe I'll roll some of those out pretty soon. But I'm going to go find this video, and I will hopefully give you my take on it. It was a couple years ago, and yes, it was fairly bad. Okay. Anyways. Maybe it's not even really worth doing, but I'll check it out. Anyways, guys, that's my time. I may come back with another video today. I may not. I apologize. I'm just I'm working on another project, so if I can get time to do another video today, I will, and you guys will all hopefully see it. If not, I will see you all here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you all for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Until next time, peace.